All right, people. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. You guys hear me in the chat? Okay. We are live. Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about that Joshua Buatsi, Willie Hutchinson fight that we just saw. I don't know what's up with the crowd. They say it's a 96,000 record-breaking crowd. It doesn't look anywhere close to that at the moment. I mean, maybe it's still filling up, but I wouldn't say it looks maybe half full. There's loads of empty seats on every tier, as far as I can see. And what I really want to talk about is, why were the crowd so dead during that Joshua Buatsi, Willie Hutchinson fight? That was a great fight. That was a really, really, really good fight. Horrible scorecards, but yeah, that was a really good fight. I enjoyed that. Both guys showed a lot of heart, determination, grit. But ultimately, Joshua Buatsi was the stronger guy. He imposed his physical strength on Willie Hutchinson, and that was the telling thing. The strength. And he was a bit more defensively responsible. He did get caught here and there being a bit reckless, but for the most part, he was more defensively responsible. Hutchinson was caught with his head in the air quite a lot. And yeah, Buatsi got the job done in the end, dropped Hutchinson, was it twice? I mean, Hutchinson started well. He was moving well. He's very slick and fast and all that. But after maybe, 3-4 rounds, you could tell that eventually Buatsi's strength was going to start getting to Hutchinson. So, yeah, that's what we saw. But Hutchinson showed not only tremendous heart, but tremendous recuperative powers to come back from those knockdowns as well as he did. I mean, I was very surprised. The first time he went down, I thought the fight's over. Buatsi's managed to get to him. He's broken him down. There's no way he's going to come back from this. But he did come back from it. So, you know, fair play to Willie Hutchinson for showing tremendous mental fortitude, physical fitness and toughness, constantly coming back and actually having Buatsi buzzed a few times. So I thought that was a really good fight. It might go down as kind of a sleeper, like an underrated fight, because the crowd barely reacted. There was a few people here and there scattered among the crowd who seemed to appreciate it, but the crowd should have been on their feet for that fight. Like, that was a great fight. That was a really, really great fight. And yeah, I don't know what the the judge who gave it to Willie Hutchinson was watching. Was that a personal friend of Frank Warren's? I don't know. But they tried to do Ben Shalom right in with that scorecard there. Obviously, Joshua Buatsi is a Ben Shalom fighter. And you know that Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn have got no love for Ben Shalom right now. They're trying to par him off and, yeah, treat him like an idiot. So maybe that was something to do with that. I don't know. But Joshua Buatsi came through, the stronger guy, the body shots. Whenever he pinned Willie Hutchinson on the ropes or in the corner, he went to town. And that's how he got the job done. Anyway, we're on to the next fight now. The Hamza Shiras Tyler Denny fight about to start. I'm going to tell you where the bell goes so you can time it. But they've already touched gloves. The bell's about to go. Seconds out. There's the bell. Round 1, Shiras Denny. Let's see what they got for us here. Oh, big shots from Shiras right away. Denny down. Denny down immediately. Oh, shame. It's that quick. Yeah, it got real for Denny way quicker than he thought. Down already. That is a bad sign for Tyler Denny. a guy who's only got one knockout win on his record. Shiras all over him. Yeah, Denny's legs look a bit wobbly even now. See, Denny normally swarms all over people, but now he's very circumspect after that knockdown. Feeling how heavy Hamza Shiras' hands are. Ooh, good shot again from Shiras. Tyler Denny trying to get back into it here. Ooh. Yeah, Shiras has a presence about him in the ring. You know, he's got a maturity about his work, about the way he moves around the ring, his technique. Oh, he's catching Denny. Big shots here in the corner. 1 minute 25, 1 minute 24. Denny trying to weather the storm here. Gets a body shot in. Working on the inside. Yeah, Denny looks absolutely tiny next to Hamza Shiras. I mean, Shiras we know is tall, but Denny looks really, really small. He looks like several weight classes below Shiras. I'm not saying he... Oh, great combinations from Shiras. You know, one of the improvements I've noticed in Hamza Shiras over the past 2-3 years is in his hand speed. Because you guys remember when he fought Bradley Skeet. He looked slow back then. His hands looked slow. The first time I watched him, I thought, you know, he's got something about him, but he's very slow. But his hand speed has really developed over the past couple years. He's much sharper now. The combinations come out much more fluidly. They're more snappy. Denny boxing out of the crouch from the southpaw stance, moving his head. Trying not to get clipped with anything crazy again. A shout out to Mazza for the super chat. Big up. Good first round for Hamza Shiras there. Impressive first round. Yeah, there's a left hand that puts Tyler Denny down. And Denny did well to get through that round, to be fair. You would expect a guy like Tyler Denny to be wily in there because, you know, he's been a small hall fighter. I'm sure he's been a sparring partner for a lot of the big names and whatever. And so he would have taken a shellacking in the gym many times over the years. So he would have picked up certain skills when it comes to survival, staying calm under pressure, and so on. Because he's the kind of blue-collar fighter that definitely will have been on the receiving end of some serious attacks. So here we go, round 2. 10, 12, 13 seconds in. Now, it's going to be very difficult for Tyler Denny in this position because he's used to swarming all over his opponents. He's not really a back foot guy from what I've seen anyway. I see Dylan White there at ringside, sat next to Tyson Fury. That's an interesting seating plan there. White next to Fury. Is that the first time they've seen each other since the night they fought? And is it just me, or has Tyson Fury put on a load of weight? What do you guys think in the chat? Has Tyson Fury put on a load of weight? To me, he looks quite a lot heavier. He's talking to Dylan White there. He looks quite a lot heavier than when he fought Usyk. To my eyes. Big up Hassan in the chat. Good shots there from Hamza Shiras. I like them gloves as well. Them gloves look nice that he's got on. It's almost like a satin finish on them grants. Yeah, Crimson Jackal says he's chubbed up for sure, Tyson Fury. He's trying to give Devin Haney a run for his money. Oh, Tyler Denny under serious pressure here, taking a combination and a body shot from Hamza Shiras, bearing down on him. Lets the shots go. Tyler Denny's down again. Now, this is a complete mismatch. Tyler Denny looks in all sorts of trouble. He's looking to his corner. Yeah, referee waves it off. It was a mismatch. He didn't have the firepower to do anything with Hamza Shiras. So I make the referee right there. Then he hadn't shown anything. His face had the look of shock this time. He wasn't composed like he was for the first knockdown. Hamza Shiras just ran straight through him. Done him in. Cash says he looks lighter than he normally would have been between fights. I guess you're talking about Fury. I'm not sure because remember his last fight against Usyk, that was the lightest he's been for 5 years. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he might have looked heavier in between the Chisora fight and the Ngannou fight, but that's because he came in massive against Ngannou and he was still quite big against Chisora. Whereas he's coming off the lightest weight he's been for 5 years against Alexander Usyk. And now he looks, I don't know, at least 20, 30 pounds heavier than that to me. And we're like, what? 3 months out from when he's supposed to fight the rematch of Usyk? And he's looking big. Well, maybe that's the strategy. Maybe he's thinking he needs to come in heavier. Maybe he feels like he wasn't strong enough first time around. Maybe overtrained or overdid it with the weight loss. I don't know. But to me, he looks, heavier, significantly heavier than he was in the Usyk fight. Yeah, seeing the replay here. The fast whipping shots coming in from Hamza Shiras. He did what he was supposed to do. Tyler Denny coming off that win over Felix Cash. But Hamza Shiras showing you the levels. I can't imagine Felix Cash would have done much better. Certainly not the Felix Cash who fought Tyler Denny. Great shots there from Hamza Shiras. Yeah. Yeah, I like Hamza Shiras. I like the way he's developed. I like his style. He's all business. He's got composure. He's got a presence about him in the ring. I like him. And there ain't really much about a middleweight right now. Aleem Kanuli, is he even going to fight again at 160? Because he didn't go through with his last fight. Presumably because he was struggling at the weight, right? So in a division like that, surely Hamza Shiras is destined for at least one world title. Surely. Yeah, Shiras has got that poise about him, You can tell from the body language of an up-and-coming fighter sometimes, whether they're ready for the next step. And Shiras is definitely ready. Yes, Hassan, shout out. Big up. Get the likes up, people. We got 229 concurrent viewers. Let's get the likes up to 50%. Let's get 100 likes. Come on, people, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Need to get at least 100 likes. Come on. Help your boy out. All right, what are we on? 73. We're nearly there. Nearly there. We're on 80. Just 20 more likes. Shout out to everybody in the chat. 95, all right. 5 more. $100 likes. There we go. Appreciate it. Big up everybody in the chat. Shout out to Black Dynamite. He says, what do you think of AJ asking the crowd to pray for him? Also, Hearn said, God willing, AJ gets the victory. Did the Stan Dubois voodoo rumors rattle him? You know what? I wanted to make a video about that today. I just didn't have enough time before the show started. But yeah, I thought it was very strange for AJ to say that. Very strange. I've never heard him say anything like that before. And what makes it even more weird is that AJ's body language looks so relaxed. You know, his eyes, his demeanor, everything about him just seems so relaxed. Like, this is the most relaxed looking I've seen AJ for years. So for him to come out with something like that, like pray for me. I mean, Dubois weren't asking for prayers, but Anthony Joshua was asking people to pray for him. I mean, he must think that he's in for a torrid time against Daniel Dubois. You know, when they were talking about AJ's next opponent, you know, before they signed for the Dubois fight, I made a video saying that I don't think AJ and Hearn really want to fight Dubois. Coming off that Hrgovic performance and the Miller performance, I don't think they really want to fight him. But, you know, for the title, they were willing to do it. So maybe AJ's anticipating a really tough fight where he might get hurt, have to get up off the canvas. You know, like the last time, well, not the last time, but when he fought Klitschko at Wembley, however many, was that 10 years ago? No, it wasn't 10 years ago. Was it 2015, 2016? Yeah, so it was a strange comment from AJ for sure. Very strange. And I picked up the exact same thing that you did about Hearn. Normally, Hearn will say, when my fighter wins, when AJ wins. But this time he's like, God willing, if AJ wins. Yeah, it's interesting. Afro Soul says he's worried about what Spencer said. So you reckon he's spooked by the juju rumors? The claims of Dubois' dad being an Obia man. Yeah, Ocean Blue says, what did Spencer Fearon see? That's the question, if anything. What did he see, if anything, to make him say that? Declan McKenna says, still see a lot of empty seats. So do I. This don't look like no 96,000. How many of those tickets are unsold on the secondary market? Because once the primary tickets are sold, they can then call it a 96,000 sellout, innit? When actually loads of the tickets are in the secondary market. Afro Soul says West Africans don't take Obia lightly. Yeah, they certainly don't. Yeah, 96,000 my back foot. You don't look anywhere close to that. This actually looks like one of the smaller Wembley crowds I've seen. At the moment anyway, unless it fills up dramatically over the next 2 fights, we'll see. But yeah. There might be reps outside comping loads of tickets as we speak. You know, people walking around the Wembley area might be getting handed free tickets as we speak right now. Ocean Blue says this fight week needed that drama though. Yeah, it did. It was entertaining. Definitely entertaining. Black Dynamite says there are people who are only there for Oasis. Shout out to D-Dubs. Long time sub. Big up. The Joker says keep an eye on Dubois' right hand in this fight. Rumor is that his right hand is injured. Where did you hear that rumor? Jones says, is Usyk going to be there? I want to see him wind up Fury. Yeah, they said he was going to be there, but I haven't spotted him yet. Unless he's arrived late. Tyson Fury's there. Dylan White's there, sat next to Tyson Fury. Terrence Crawford's there. Black Dynamite says, I heard that rumor too, but it was just a tweet from a random. Get Up Again says, Daniel Dubois will fight like a berserker. Watch. I think so. I think Daniel Dubois comes out fast. He'll try to stick the jab straight on AJ. Hard jab. And then he'll start swinging. You know, as soon as he gets him where he wants him, close quarters, he's going to start swinging them big shots. But the thing about Dubois is that when he gets hit and buzzed with a shot, normally he'll immediately back up. He won't normally like fight through, you know, tuck up and try and stay in the pocket when he gets buzzed. As soon as he gets buzzed, he starts going walkabout. Don't know if you guys have noticed that, but he always does that when he gets buzzed. And I'm not saying that's necessarily, you know, the worst thing to do if you get buzzed to go for a walkabout. But if AJ was in there with somebody who is going to stay on him no matter what they get hit with, that would be more of a difficult style for him. I'm not saying Dubois' style ain't difficult for him, but there's holes in it, you know? Because certain fighters, when they get buzzed, they're going to stay right there in the pocket. They know how to slip and roll and hold and all that kind of stuff. They want to keep close to you and keep the pressure on you. They don't want to give you any space. Shout out to Mohammed Ahmed for the super chat. Thank you, sir. Much love. He says, how far can Shiras go? Can he be undisputed in the middleweight division? I think he can definitely be a world champion for sure. I'd be surprised if he doesn't become a world champion, to be honest, at this stage. Undisputed, we'll see. We'll see what the lay of the land is like in terms of world titles in the middleweight division over the next, let's say, 12 months. But I'd be surprised if Hamza Shiras doesn't become a world champion now. To me, it looks like he's got the goods. Stephen Jenkins says 4-round knockout by Joshua. You know, one of the things that is a little unusual about this fight is that the entire boxing media is almost unanimous in picking Anthony Joshua to win. You know? I can't remember the last big heavyweight fight where, you know, people were so unanimous. I'm not sure I've seen any of the experts, you know, any of these pundits, ex-fighters, trainers, any of them, not one of them that I've seen has picked Dubois to win. And that's almost like an ominous sign for Joshua. Do you know what I mean? That everybody is picking him to win. It's like, Like, to me, Dubois is more than dangerous enough to warrant a lot of people picking him. Now, I know the fans. There's plenty of people that watch my videos, that subscribe to my channel, that comment on my videos, who are picking Dubois. But among the pundits, it's like nobody's picking him. And it's not just the zone guys. Yeah, it's people who are on all sorts of different networks, rivals of AJ, certain heavyweights, sparring partners, all sorts of different people. The only person I've seen picking Daniel Dubois is Tyson Fury. And when they asked Tyson Fury again on the DAZN broadcast, he refused to pick a winner. I don't know whether it was because he didn't want to get booed, because there was so many AJ fans in the arena. But yeah, the only one I've seen picking Dubois is Fury. And Fury has got a terrible track record for predicting AJ fights. He's picked against AJ so many times. Picked against him when he fought Charles Martin. Picked against him when he fought Klitschko. Think he might have picked against him in the Parker fight. He's picked against him in the Ruiz rematch. He's picked against him so many times, and he's always wrong. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Ocean Blue. Yes, Duke McKenzie did pick Daniel Dubois. Thank you. Yeah, that's the only expert. Thank you for the reminder. That's the only expert that has picked Daniel Dubois that I've seen. McKenzie or Tyson Fury, if you want to include him, right? Two. Let's call it two. Yeah, I have to say that this card has really flown by. And that's something that Eddie Hearn said he wanted to implement. You know, cards that move at a faster pace, like UFC cards. Yeah, looking at the stadium, that is not even remotely close to 96,000. Not even remotely close. That's a bunch of secondary market tickets that they've counted as sold tickets. Sunday says Jarrell Miller also picked Daniel. Okay. So Miller's pulling for Dubois. Okay, Lineal Ngannou says I got AJ losing by knockout in the middle late rounds. Afro Soul says Miller is wishful thinking. Let's be real. Well, we'll see. We're about to find out whether he's wishful thinking, whether he was onto something, whether it's Dubois' time. Amin says Dubois about to get knocked the F out. We'll see. Cole says, do you think the juju will work against AJ or not? Who knows, man? Who knows? Jay Wood says, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm expecting drama. Something in my subconscious is making me feel like there's going to be drama in this fight. But we will see. You know, AJ was being interviewed. I think it was by Ariel Helwani, you know, the ex UFC guy who now hates Dana White. And he was asking AJ how come he isn't seen, he isn't viewed the same way by the British public that Tyson Fury is. And, you know, the inference was that Tyson Fury is given more respect as a boxer. Not that he's more liked. AJ's more popular, but he's just taken more seriously as a fighter than Anthony Joshua. That was the idea. And the reason for it, as far as I'm concerned, well, there's several reasons, but one of the reasons is because Anthony Joshua has shown fragility. Yeah, Tyson Fury's been down a bunch of times, but he's always been able to get up, survive, and, you know, see the end of the fight or come back and stop the other guy. Whereas with Anthony Joshua, when he gets hurt, he's like a deer in the headlights. And people always have that in the back of their head. Like if you clip AJ with a good shot, you can put him back in that place where he's a deer in the headlights and he's basically food. And so unless AJ overcomes that psychological weakness, then people are always going to look at him like that. Now, on top of that, there's also the fact that AJ is mainstream. You know, he's always been like the corporate friendly guy and what have you. And a lot of people are always going to be turned off by a character like that in boxing. You know, an overly manicured image and what have you. A lot of fans are going to say, nah, that's not real. You know, that's not the type of fighter we like to follow. So that's definitely an aspect of it. Tyson Fury's been like a anti-hero in British boxing. And it's, you know, a lot of people see it as like cool to support Tyson Fury because he's the anti-hero. So there's that aspect to it as well. But as I say, it's also the fact that AJ has got this vulnerability, which he's never really expunged. He's never successfully expunged from the memories of fans. And that's why that's why many of us are kind of unsure about this fight. Because when you look at the skills of AJ and Dubois, when you look at the experience, when you look at the technique, the speed and all that, it's all favoring AJ. But because of that vulnerability that AJ has, that's why there's this uncertainty in the atmosphere. If AJ gets clipped, and Dubois, you know, on a roll right now, he's been vicious in his past couple fights, and he's usually vicious. In order for AJ to win this fight, he's going to have to knock the fight out of Dubois. Yeah, I don't see Dubois freezing. I don't see him coming out there, you know, scared to throw punches. No. He's going to come out there. He's going to go for it. And AJ's going to have to knock the fight out of him. If he thinks he's just going to try and finesse him and this and that, no. He's going to have to knock the fight out of that young man. If he doesn't do that, AJ's going to find himself in trouble, I think. Okay, they say Usyk is ringside. I haven't seen him yet. I hope they sat Usyk next to Fury, like somebody else said in the chat. Because they've sat Dylan White next to Fury, so why not sit Usyk next to him? A shout out to 1-1. Big up. 1-1 in the chat. Cloud says Don is there. James says, this is AJ's first real challenge since the rebuild. Probably why he's a little off. Yeah. Well, you know, the magnitude of the events that Anthony Joshua is involved in is very rare in heavyweight boxing. You know, when Lennox Lewis came back after his first loss to Oliver McCall, he had pretty low-key fights. You know, he fought against a journeyman called Lionel Butler. Then he fought a guy called Justin Fortune. That was a pretty low-key fight. Then he fought Tommy Morrison. I want to say that fight was in Atlantic City. Not in any kind of stadium. You know, it might have been, I don't know, 10,000, 7,000 in attendance or something. Then he had his first real step up. All right, Derek Chisora in attendance there. Then he had his first real step up against Ray Mercer. That was in, was that in New Jersey? I think that was in New Jersey. Or no, that was MSG, excuse me. I swear that was MSG, where Lennox Lewis fought Ray Mercer. So that was a big fight, but, you know, it was a 10-rounder at MSG, which holds, 18,000? Nothing like this. You know, AJ's first proper fight, his first proper step up is in front of a Wembley audience of, I don't know, what's in there, 70,000, 60,000 or something. Definitely not the 96 that they're claiming. Yeah, there's Tyson Fury looking heavy. J-Man says it's 80K at least. I don't know, man. They're doing a lot of very crafty camera work at the moment. Because from certain angles, you can still see loads and loads of empty seats. And, you know, they're putting that red light up there as well. You know, to drown out the number of empty seats there are. The ring walk is not till 9:45. What? If my math, oh my gosh, Daniel Dubois is not even gloved up or anything. If my maths is correct, that's 45 minutes away, right? I'm not dumb, by the way, people. I'm not in the UK. That's what I'm saying, if my maths is correct. I'm several hours behind. So it's just past 9 UK time. So they're saying he's not going to be, the ring walks are not going to be for 45 minutes. Oh, okay. Aiden says Oasis have still got to perform. Okay, I see. So there's basically a whole Oasis concert about to happen. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this concert before the main event situation. They used to do that in Germany, you know, for the Klitschko fights. They used to have concerts in the middle of the show and all. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I'm not really a fan of it. It breaks up the flow of the card. Yeah, Frank Warren alluding to this claim that Don Charles and Daniel Dubois had split. He seemed to be, there's Turkey there throwing some punches. He seemed to be alluding to Spencer Fearon, but Spencer Fearon never said that, that Daniel Dubois and Don Charles had split. I downloaded the interviews that I watched where he was talking and saying all the stuff that he said. And he never said that they'd split up. In fact, there was an interview where I saw Spencer Fearon say that he expects Don Charles to be there in Dubois' corner. He'd be stupid if he wasn't there. Now look at all the empty seats there. There's loads. Look at all the red, especially on the top tier. And even the middle tier there's loads of red. Even down by ringside, loads of empty seats. Loads of empty seats. Afro Soul says, which channel are you watching from, Hatman? I'm watching on DAZN. Shout out to 1-1 again. Big up. He says, Gallagher is going to lift the roof off this place. Still, I'm not feeling singers in the middle of a sporting event either. They put Shakira at the Copa America. Allow it. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it either. Philip Anson says, is Turkey gay? I've got no idea. But if you're alluding to the whole holding hands thing, that's an Arab cultural practice. They do that. Yeah, it's definitely weird to us, but it's something that you see when you go to the Middle East. You see like guys who are friends holding hands and you're like, okay, that's weird. But yeah, it's definitely a cultural thing. I guess it's like kissing each other on the face. That's something that the French used to do. I don't know if French still do that. French men, they used to do the kissing on the cheek and all that. I think Italians used to do that as well. Maybe they still do. And Arabs do that. And they also, as I say, do the weird holding hands thing. The Joker says, Steve Goodwin said Dubois' right hand is busted. Heard it from 2 sources, and apparently Dubois needs to get rid. I guess you mean AJ. Needs to get rid of AJ early. I got $20 on Dubois. First round KO. Well, we'll see if there's any evidence of Dubois' right hand being busted. But I think the early rounds will be crucial. And you're going to get some nice odds on Dubois winning by KO early. So I definitely don't hate that bet. I don't hate that bet. What odds are you going to get? What odds was it again? 18-1 was it? $81-1. Wow. Is that what the odds are? 81-1. You can't go wrong. You could just put £1 on, innit? Get 81 back. You're not going to miss it. Those are crazy odds. Yeah, I agree, Bongo. If you get 100-1, it's a great bet. You cannot go wrong. Samuel says, still feeling that odd energy for the fight, Hatman. Yeah, I'm still feeling the weird energy. Weird energy. Like something dramatic, devastating, or controversial is going to happen. But then again, I've had that feeling a few times in the past where nothing happened. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to claim to be a clairvoyant here or anything like that. You know, I feel it in my bones. Although there has been occasions where I got a funny feeling and then something dramatic did happen. Like, for example, I had a funny feeling all week in the run-up to AJ Ruiz. I had a very, very funny feeling all week. It was such a funny feeling that me and my girlfriend, we both had this funny feeling. We were like, you know what? We need to put some money on Ruiz. We were saying that to each other all week, right? But I was working, she was working, and we just never got around to doing it. But when AJ got stopped, we were just looking at each other like, we should have put the damn money on. We had the feeling all week that something mad was going to happen. Yeah, Ocean Blue, I had the same feeling. You're right. That was another one where I had a funny feeling, was White Povetkin. And I said in my pre-fight video that I've got a funny feeling Dylan White is going to hit the canvas in this fight. I think I might have even said, don't be surprised if he gets knocked out. Yeah. And going into round 5, I was looking like a damn fool because Dylan White was dominating the fight. He dropped Povetkin a couple times. He looked in complete control. Oh, yeah, and we should talk about Johnny Nelson's dream. Because Johnny Nelson, I have a dream, yeah. He's had another dream about, well, this fight in this case, but he dreamt about the Usyk Fury fight, the first fight. And it started off in an interview he did where he claimed that he dreamt about several of his fights when he was still boxing, but one of them in particular, he had this dream and he saw certain characters in the dream, certain people that he'd never seen before in his life who were dressed a particular way with a hat on and whatever. And he dreamt that the fight ended in a certain way. And so, according to Johnny Nelson, the fight played out exactly as it was in his dream, and he saw the individual who he'd seen in his dream at the fight. Okay? Now, did he make it up? I don't know, but that's what Johnny Nelson said. And then he went on to say that he'd had a dream about the Usyk Fury fight. And this is before the fight, right? He said he'd had a dream about the fight, and he didn't dream about the fight itself, but he dreamt about the aftermath in the ring. And he said that Tyson Fury was being interviewed and he was unhappy. That's what he said. He said he was unhappy and he was complaining about something. So that's what Johnny Nelson said he saw in that dream. Right? And of course, that's what happened. Now, you could say that's a pretty generic prediction or whatever, you know, to say that Tyson Fury is complaining in the ring, because loads of fighters complain in the ring after fights for various different reasons. They might complain about an injury. They might complain about being fouled by the opponent. They might complain about the decision. They might complain about the ref. They might complain that they thought the fight was going to be tougher than it turned out to be. So it's not much of a prediction, right? Anyway, the latest dream, Johnny Nelson says that AJ in his most recent dream against Dubois, he gets hit with a big right hand, staggers back towards the ropes, gets hit with another right, or gets hit with a big right hand, wobbles, gets hit with another big right hand, staggers back towards the ropes, and then the referee jumps in. Yeah, that's what Johnny Nelson said. But at the same time, Johnny Nelson is picking against his dream. He's picking AJ to win the fight. So, I don't know. He's not confident enough to actually go with what he dreamed. Maybe he's trying to cover all bases. You know, maybe it's like a cheap way of having opposite predictions. You know what I mean? Like, if AJ wins, you can say, well, I told you I predicted that. But if Dubois wins, he'll say, I told you I dreamt about that. So he's got both bases covered. No matter what happens, he can try to claim credit. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, if Johnny Nelson's dream does come true, I'll be very interested to see or to hear about what his next dream is for the next big fight. Because at some point, if his dreams keep on coming true, yeah, we might have to give him Mystic Meg status. Baz says, what's your prediction now, Hatman? Same as in my prediction video yesterday. I'm still picking AJ to win by knockout. But I give Dubois a good chance. You know, at the end of the day, these are two guys who have been down multiple times in their careers. They've both been stopped. So, you know, it wouldn't be a shock if either of them won, right? Really, it shouldn't be. I know AJ seems to be the overwhelming favorite with the public and with the pundits and with the bookies, but when you look at the history of Anthony Joshua and the history of Dubois, it shouldn't be a shock if either one of them were to pull it off. Shouldn't be a shock. All right, Ben says, I had a dream that AJ was bloodied and beaten up and got stopped against the ropes. Hopefully my dream is wrong. Sounds very much like Johnny Nelson's dream. We'll soon see. If AJ were to get stopped, you know, I know Derek Chisora says it wouldn't necessarily be the end for him. He could carry on. He's still a big name, so on and so forth. And if it's an exciting fight, back and forth battle, then yeah, maybe he could carry on and have, you know, other fights and do other things. But when you've made as much money as AJ's made, does he just want to be in boxing to make up the numbers and, you know, follow in the footsteps of Chisora and his approach to boxing? Or does he actually want to be the number one? The impression I've got of AJ over the years is that he wants to be the number one. And so if he stops believing that he can be number one, will he really want to carry on boxing? You know, I'm not so sure. So yeah, if AJ loses, it's going to be interesting to see whether he wants to carry on. Again, it would depend on the nature of the loss, but you know, when you made that much money, when you've been striving for greatness and then you fall short and then you know you're definitely not going to be the number one, do you carry on or not? Shout out to Swaggins for the super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, Hatman, did you hear that commentator called Terrence Crawford Kendrick Lamar in the crowd? I didn't. What a clanger. No, I definitely didn't hear that. That's crazy. I hope he was being sarcastic. Wow. Which commentator was it? It surely wasn't the American commentator. It surely weren't the American guy. Wow, what? Oh, it was the American guy, the UFC guy. Wow. Now that's a horrible, horrible gaffe. That's a clanger. Oh my gosh. Coffee says they were saying AJ still manages Buatsi. Clanger. Black Dynamite says they low-key look alike though. I mean, they're a little similar. They're a little similar, but I don't know whether they're similar enough to get them mixed up like that. You know, they're not that similar. Shout out to the black caller. Jonas says it was a joke, though. I hope it was a joke. I hope it was a joke. Stephen Jenkins says, do you think Ben Davison tells Tyson Fury everything about Auntie and Joshua? I've been wondering that ever since AJ linked up with Ben Davison, you know, because Tyson Fury has a cult around him. It's literally like a cult. These people in Tyson Fury's circle fall in love with him. It's like they're desperately in love with the guy. And it's the kind of love which I don't think ever goes away. So, you know, Ben Davison, is he a double agent? Is he feeding intel back to Team Fury? Let's go even deeper. Is he going to deliberately sabotage AJ to get him out of the way? Now, I say that because back in the days when Lennox Lewis was trained by Pepe Correa, Puerto Rican guy, he suffered his first defeat under Correa to Oliver McCall. All right, there's the man of the moment, Alexander Usyk in the house. Yeah, so when Lewis suffered his first defeat to Oliver McCall, he was trained by Pepe Correa. He then sacked Pepe Correa and hired Manny Stewart, who had actually trained McCall to beat him. Right? So it was a funny kind of situation. And then in Lewis's next fight, he fought a journeyman called Lionel Butler, a big punching journeyman, but still a journeyman. And in Lionel Butler's corner was Pepe Correa, right? The guy who just trained Lewis for the fight before. And in the run-up to the Lionel Butler fight, Pepe Correa was claiming that he actually masterminded Lewis's defeat, that he deliberately, you know, told him the wrong things to do to get him chinned. It was obviously all psychology. You know, I don't believe that he actually did that. He was just trying to get under Lewis's skin because he was saying that now that I'm with Lionel Butler, I know exactly how to get to you and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that was the first time that idea was introduced to my mind, you know, that you could have like a double agent in a boxer's camp who's actually giving them bad advice so that they get beat. Would Ben Davison stoop that low? I mean, Ben Davison seems like, to me anyway, a pretty cool guy, but the spell that Tyson Fury puts people under is very powerful. So I couldn't discount anything, to be honest. Okay, Cash says it was a joke about the Kendrick Lamar thing. Yeah, thank God. I can wipe the sweat from my brow. Because that would have been one of the biggest clangers ever. Jupiter String says, I think Ben is a loyal guy and realized Fury took a punt with him and remained loyal because of that. Yeah, that's definitely an element of it. It has to be. But at the same time, like I say, Fury has this magnetism about him. I mean, you look at Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker fought Tyson Fury's cousin, Huey. I think that's the first time when Tyson and Joseph Parker met, was in the lead up to that fight. And from that moment on, Parker and Tyson Fury became like best buddies. after Parker had just fought his cousin. And Parker became like the biggest Tyson Fury cheerleader on planet Earth. You know, it was a very strange thing. And many other people that have been in that Fury circle, they're the same way. They become like the biggest cheerleaders ever for Tyson Fury. It's incredible. From sparring partners to trainers. I mean, even Gareth A. Davis, right? He's like totally besotted with Tyson Fury. He did an interview with him a few years ago. And Gareth A. Davis was like behaving like a giddy female in the presence of his biggest crush. That's how he was behaving. One of the weirdest things I've seen. He kept on saying, yeah, he's an extraordinary character, isn't he, Tyson? He's extraordinary. No, Gareth A. Davis talk. He's extraordinary, Tyson, isn't he? He's extraordinary. Jupiter says, Fury has a way with men that have a chip on their shoulder or psychological wound. Yeah. All right, so we got Oasis performing here. Or one of the Gallaghers. Are they still not speaking after all those years? All right, there's people in the chat saying Liam Gallagher's music is whack. I mean, if you're going to book any of the Gallaghers to do a gig, surely they're going to have to perform their biggest hits, right? Swaggin says, have you heard Joe Stunner's Gareth A. Davis parodies? I don't think so. Abdul says, why has he got the mic on his mouth? That's a pretty common thing, to be fair, because those microphones that are used for live performances, they're not very sensitive, right? So you really have to be very close to actually be heard on one of those microphones. And they heavily reject noise from the sides and the rear. And especially when there's like thrashing guitars and all that, it makes it even more difficult to hear the voice. So it's not particularly unusual for an artist to get that close to the mic. Yeah, another thing that's weird is that, you know, we're not convinced, at least I'm not, that there's 96,000 in there, at least not yet. And the crowd has been subdued so far this evening. Yeah, just like Declan said there, no crowd cheering. It's a very subdued crowd. You know, Eddie Hearn was talking about how Turkey Al Sheikh is going to be blown away by the British fans and the atmosphere and all this type of stuff, but it hasn't been much of an atmosphere. This has not been a typical, electric UK stadium atmosphere at all. This has been more like an American stadium atmosphere, where it's just not, or even, Japan or whatever. Normally for stadium fights in the UK, there's like a raucous, almost, football vibe, or soccer, as they call it in the United States, right? That's the kind of vibe you get from the crowd. But this crowd is very subdued. Very subdued. And that's adding to the weirdness of the whole thing. The weird vibe. One says, yeah, the vibe's been dead. Might not let man take drinks to their seats. If that's the case, as often it is at boxing, people might be away from their seats drinking. Okay, that's an interesting take. London says, was no Gallagher necessary? That's Liam Gallagher, isn't it? I'm not sure if Noel is actually there. Liam's always been the more cocky of the two. Even at his advanced age now, Liam still struts around like a hard man. Look at that guitar player there. Yeah, the thing about Turkey Al Sheikh and the Arabs is that they're not necessarily current when it comes to like Western music. You go to other parts of the world and you'll find that they like Western artists who were popular like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily up to speed with who's hot right now. Because last time, in LA, they had Eminem on. And Eminem is not the most popping rapper today, right? You would have thought they'd get whatever the hottest rapper is today, Kendrick or somebody to do a show. But they got Eminem, who's like 50. And here they've got like Liam Gallagher. He's not a popping artist. I'm sure he still does his tours and all that, but Oasis are not current. Bongo says old is better than the new. I might agree with you, but it's not really about old people like us, is it? If you're trying to get a buzz in an arena, you're trying to appeal to the young people. So I wouldn't, if I was in charge of a boxing event, I wouldn't plan it for, people in their 40s and 50s. That's not who I'll be trying to appeal to. I'll be trying to appeal to the young crowd. So I talk to young people who are the hottest artists, and I'd have them on. Even if I think they're rubbish myself and don't listen to their music, that's who I would have on. It's like when AJ fought Dylan White back in the days, and he had Stormzy. That Stormzy song, Shut Up, yeah? That was like a perfect song for that particular event. It captured the energy of that fight. It captured the energy of the fans and the entourages and all that. It was a perfect song for that moment in time. It captured everything. Whereas, this Liam Gallagher thing, I don't know what this is all about. Crimson Jackal says, Heisenberg playing guitar for Gallagher. Oh yeah, I see the guy you're talking about there now, Heisenberg. Yeah, I didn't spot him at first. Okay, yeah, Heisenberg's there. Where's Jesse? Shout out to Ricky Torres. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Hatman have to say, funny True Geordie also said, Usyk hit Tyson Fury so hard, he was bouncing off the ropes like a WWF wrestler. Or like a pinball machine. Yeah, Usyk gave Fury that work. Didn't knock any sense into him, though. Bad says they need Skepta. Yeah, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Skepta's kind of up there in age, but he's still somewhat relevant, right? Amin says, yo, I swear down, True Geordie always copies your boxing videos. Well, I don't know if that's true. If it is, I take it as a compliment. True Geordie turned up in the chat a few live streams back, and he bigged me up as somebody who he got a lot of influence and boxing knowledge from. So, you know what I mean? No problem. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So, and I don't watch enough True Geordie videos to know whether that's actually true, but I'm not doubting you guys. All I'm saying is I got no issue with it. If that is the case, you know, he came here and he bigged me up. He acknowledged my channel, so I'm good. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people out there, fighters, you know, some well-known fighters who watch my videos and don't actually say that they watch my videos. That I'm sure of. Because we know that there are, you know, fighters that have acknowledged that they watch my videos. Dylan White, Lawrence Okolie, and, you know, quite a few other fighters over the years. But there's a few who I'm sure watch and they don't say anything about it. They just watch silently. And that's okay. This guy, yeah, this guy who's playing the guitar on screen now, he looks like that guy from the Pet Shop Boys. Now we're really going back. It's like an 80s British pop band. Looks like a guy from the Pet Shop Boys. Black Dynamite says, Play Wonderwall and let's get the bloody fight on. Yeah. So the way that the card has gone so far, has it gone to plan? Has it gone to script? I don't, mean a literal script, but have all their favorites won so far? I think they have, haven't they? There hasn't been any upsets. So Kakashi won and he was expected to win. Boatsy won. I can't remember if Boatsy was a favorite or not, but he did win. Obviously, Shiras won. What other fights were on the card? I think all the favorites have won so far, right? Oh, Chamberlain lost. Okay, I didn't see that fight. Yeah, I didn't see Chamberlain. Who is Chamberlain fighting? London Box says the production of these things is over the top. More isn't always better. I've quite enjoyed some of the promos, but this particular promo I find to be really weird and actually disturbing. I just noticed Tom Dallas is actually acting in there in the promo for this show. I never noticed that before. I swear that's Tom Dallas, the ex-heavyweight boxer who got knocked out by David Price. Sazad says, do you know of All Stars? Yeah, I know All Stars. Old school gym. All Stars, yep. Now, I liked the AJ and Ngannou promo. The video game one. I like that one. I like the Usyk Fury promo. I thought that was great. I wasn't a massive fan of the Lock Stock one. Was that for the 5v5? I wasn't a massive fan of that one because I thought the narration was poor because it had Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren narrating. I think they should have got Jason Statham to do the narration on that one. And not have Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren actually talking or not talking much. And have Jason Statham narrating. Would have been better. I thought it was a bit too long. And yeah. Shout out to Nathan. Big up for the super chat. He says, I'm rolling with Dubois. If he gets out of the first 4 rounds without taking too much damage, he comes on and takes AJ out mid to late. Enjoy the fight. Big up, Nathan, for the super chat. I can see it. I can see it. I'm not going to change my prediction at this stage, but, the scenario you just talked about wouldn't at all surprise me. There's Turkey doing his thing, shadow boxing. Somebody in the chat saying it looks more packed now. Yeah, I can still see a lot of empty seats. Look at the top tier. I can still see a lot of empty seats. But, 96,000 is a bit more believable at this stage. But I can still see a lot of empty seats. Based upon there's Devin Haney. based upon the way it looks right now, I see Joe Joyce there. You guys see Joe Joyce? He was a few rows back from ringside. Joe Joyce in the house. Sazad says Richard Dubois said, this is Anthony Joshua's world and we are living in it. That reminds me of a line from the movie Shutters. Where, what's the main character, Bob Marley's son? Is he called Biggs? That's what he's called, Biggs, isn't he? Oh, you got Nigel Benn there. And Conor Benn sat right in front of Big Baby Miller. All the stars in attendance. If ever there was a time you were going to feel pressure, it's on this occasion, on this stage. It seems like this crowd are like super. I mean, look, with most well-known fighters, most cash cow fighters, the majority of their fans are casuals. We know that. But I think this crowd is even more casual than normal because it seems like the only fight they care about is the main event. Because that Boatsy Hutchinson fight was an absolute banger of a fight. And the crowd were just sat there shrugging their shoulders. I'm like, are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing? This is a hell of a fight. Seesaw battle. And the crowd were just like, yeah, it definitely looks like it's filled up since the last fight for sure. Yeah, for sure. Which again is weird because normally for these Wembley fights in the past, they're full up at least 2 or 3 fights before the main event. Devin Haney looking like he could step in there as a substitute in case one of them pulled out and fight for the heavyweight title. King KO says AJ KO's Dubois early. As someone said a few moments ago, nothing would surprise me in this fight. I'm going for AJ to win by KO, but yeah, nothing would surprise me. Both guys have been chinned before. Both guys can bang. I think Dubois is going to come out like a madman, swinging, as he has done in many fights throughout his career. You know, against Kevin Lorena, Dubois came out like a madman, got himself clipped and went down a few times. Against Joe Joyce, you guys go watch the Joyce fight back. He comes out swinging at Joyce. Joyce catches him with a big shot. And I'm talking about in the first 15 seconds of the first round of that fight. Joyce catches him with a solid shot and Dubois starts backing up. Dubois is a very instinctive fighter. He doesn't think too much. He's almost like the opposite of AJ. You know, AJ is an overthinker. Dubois is actually an underthinker. He doesn't think things through that well or that much. And that can be a blessing and a curse, you know? He doesn't worry too much about letting his hands go normally, but that can put him in danger. He can walk onto shots. He certainly did in the first round against Joyce. He certainly did in the first round against Lorena. He certainly did in the first couple rounds against Hrgovic. So yeah, Dubois has a habit of walking onto shots early in fights, and he loves a trade-up. He loves to exchange punches, Dubois. So if you're throwing, he'll throw with you. He's not one of these guys that waits for you to finish throwing and then he'll throw. No, he likes to throw when you're throwing. Lex Gaming says, AJ or Dubois on points would surprise me. Yeah, maybe that would surprise me too. But it would surprise me. It wouldn't shock me, you know? I'm not expecting it to go the distance, by the way. I'm expecting a knockout in this fight because Daniel Dubois is a do or die fighter. His whole mentality is either I'm going to knock you out or you're going to knock me out. Either way, one of us is going down. All right, we've got some weird performance going on here with some, what looks like Mortal Kombat characters. Kitana. We've got some kind of pyrotechnic thing going on here. That's probably not the right word, is it? Pyro relates to fire, but pyrotechnic is like fireworks, isn't it? I guess this wouldn't really qualify as fireworks, but I don't know, some type of fire display. All right, so here comes Dubois. Yes, an unusual thing for the champion to be coming out first, as if he's the challenger. Now, if Dubois had actually won the title in the ring, then it'd be a lot more difficult to justify this. He looks totally wired and switched on, Dubois. He looks totally pumped. He is going to come out swinging. The underthinker versus the overthinker. And so if you boil it down to that, right, an underthinker versus an overthinker, it all hinges on the underthinker turning it into his type of fight, which is a fast-paced fight, a chaotic fight, a wild fight. That's what the underthinker wants. He doesn't want to allow the overthinker to actually think about anything. He wants to draw him into his world. And the overthinker wants to slow the pace down, get everything under control, and allow a boxing match. That's the way, Dubois described it. He wants to allow a boxing match to break out. That's what AJ wants. He wants a boxing match to break out. Here's Dubois with his brother. Callum says Dubois wins round 7. Round 7 is actually one of AJ's most prolific rounds, isn't it? He's knocked a lot of people out in the 7th round over the years. He stopped Dylan White in the 7th. I think he stopped Brazil in the 7th. I think he stopped Povetkin in the 7th. He stopped Hellenius in the 6th or the 7th. Remember, he stopped a lot of people in 7 rounds over the years. Jonas says, Dubois looks like Iron Mike. Well, too bad he don't fight like him. I remember when Dubois was on the way up, there were people that would turn up in the comments of my videos saying that he's the new Mike Tyson, this, that, and the other. Yeah, he's certainly not that. You can see that Dubois likes Mike Tyson, hence the black shorts and all that type of stuff. And he's going to try to come in with a Mike Tyson energy here, flying out the gates, looking to demolish AJ immediately. But I haven't seen anyone like Mike Tyson, you know, that type of dynamic attacking fighter in any division before or since. Mike Tyson was a one-off. I'm not saying he was the greatest fighter of all time, but I'm just talking about the ability he had, the offensive ability. You know, and he practiced what Costamato described as elusive aggression, where you constantly be moving his head, drawing your lead, countering you on the front foot, as well as leading off, body shots, stepping around the side, very fast hands, every punch in the book, straight shots, uppercuts, hooks, overarm shots. Never seen anyone like Mike Tyson before or since, ever. Stephen Jenkins says, changed my mind, 2nd round knockout. In favor of who? Mark Lawson says, Frotch praying for AJ's downfall. Yeah, probably. Probably. Shimshin says, Dubois in 3. I'm telling you, he's going to rush him. Yeah, I'm sure he will rush him. I'm sure that he will rush AJ. And in that sense, it is about who lands first. Will Dubois land a big lead power shot first? Or will AJ land a big counter first? All right, let me go get a refreshment. Be back in a sec. Oh, and before I go for my refreshment, Dubois looked pumped on the way to the ring. AJ still looks very calm, very confident, focused. Definitely not pumped the way Dubois is, but he definitely looks relatively calm, you know. Bit more on edge than Dubois, I want to say, but I've seen AJ look a lot more nervous before fights on the way to the ring. He's not spotting people though. That's interesting. Normally when he's coming to the ring, he's spotting the crowd and all that. Here he looks a lot more serious. So let's soon see what happens. Anyway, let me go get my refreshment. All right, so to me, AJ has the look of a man walking to the ring there who nearly believes. He nearly believes. He doesn't quite believe 100%, but he nearly believes. Dubois looks like a man on a mission. He looks like he's just, as I say, do or die. But AJ looks like a man who nearly believes. And I think if AJ wins this fight and does so in convincing fashion, then, and it's a big if, right? But if AJ wins this fight in convincing fashion in front of all these people, with all this expectation on his shoulders, against the young, dangerous, fighter who's coming off good wins, who's going to set about him. If AJ wins this fight in good fashion, then I think the best AJ is actually yet to come. Because if he wins this fight in good fashion, I think it will take his confidence to a level it's actually never been before. More confident than he was when he was unbeaten. Because then he will have come full circle in terms of his journey and his development psychologically, not just technically as a fighter and physically, but psychologically. He will have come full circle and he will now be complete mentally. He will have experienced everything there is to experience in a boxing ring, the highs, the lows, getting dropped, coming back from defeat, getting off the floor to win. He will have experienced it all. He will have experienced a situation like this, his first proper fight since the 2 defeats to Usyk. If he comes through this and wins in decisive, impressive fashion, I think he'll probably peak over the next 2 years. But, it's a crossroads situation here. Because if he doesn't win, where does he really go? Why would he carry on if he doesn't win? Especially if he loses, gets chinned in dramatic fashion. Why would he carry on? What will be the motivation? Can he switch his mentality into a Derek Chisora mentality and just do it for the love of fighting and making a bag and just be happy to make up the numbers and be a little fan favorite? All right, they've got a guy in there who looks like he must be from Grenada. Who's the man in a uniform in Dubois' corner? He's got to be from Grenada. Right? That looks like a Caribbean uniform there. Somebody said it's the guy from Coming to America. She's your queen to be. Yeah, AJ getting that nervous look about him now in his eyes. Yeah, he's definitely feeling the pressure. Dubois just looks like he's ready to swing. AJ looks nervous now, for sure. Yeah, AJ definitely looks nervous. But to be fair, he looked nervous before the Ngannou fight. from what I can remember. He even looked nervous during the Ngannou fight. All right, here we go. Get the preliminaries out of the way and let's get this fight on, man. Been waiting long enough. Dubois pacing around like a pound shop Mike Tyson. Yeah, judging by the way the fighters look here, there's a good chance this fight could be over quick. You got one guy extremely hype, the other guy extremely nervous. Yeah, could be over quick. Either Dubois catches AJ with a big lead and just swarms all over him and does him, or he is too reckless and walks onto a big shot and gets taken out himself. Don't blink. Don't go for a drink. This one could be over in a hurry, ladies and gents. AP says, does it last 100 seconds? Maybe not. We'll see. You know, if it weren't Dubois in there and it was somebody like, I don't know, Bacoli or maybe not even Bacoli, because AJ's been in the ring with him too, but AJ's holding on to the fact that he's actually shared the ring with Dubois. Hundreds of rounds, apparently, they sparred when Dubois was only a kid, but still. All right, here we go, folks. Moment of truth. Will it be Dubois, the young gun, or AJ? Here we go. Seconds out. There's the bell. Dubois on the front foot, AJ backing up. Moving to his left. Dubois stalking. Yeah, AJ on the back foot, trying to get his jab off. Dubois looking to let the right hand go already. You saw him nearly throw it there. Dubois getting a good jab off there. Nice jab from Dubois. Oh, big right hand from Dubois. He's got AJ under pressure already. Yeah, Dubois coming out aggressive, as expected. AJ, oh, big jab from Dubois, knocks AJ's head back. Hits AJ with a body shot on the inside. Dubois definitely, big jab there from Dubois. Dubois definitely settling in far better than AJ so far. AJ tries a speculative right hand. Misses. Dubois coming in behind the jab. Okay, the wrestle on the inside. Referee warning Dubois for use of the head on the inside. Dubois with a jab, AJ on the back foot, moving around. Catches Dubois with a counter on the way in, but wasn't really much on it. Good jab there from AJ. AJ tries a big right hand. Dubois definitely the more comfortable of the two. AJ very nervous. Now AJ hasn't settled at all here. Dubois landing his jab, confident, pushing the fight. Oh, right hand there from AJ landed on Dubois' eye. Didn't look like it was a particularly hard shot, but it did land. Good jab there from AJ. Dubois Again, rushing AJ, trying to get shots off. The referee warning Dubois for the head again. I mean, it was, you know, I don't think it was that bad from Dubois there, the head. He's just a bit excited. AJ trying to get the jab off. Dubois bouncing. Looking for a way in. Oh, uppercut from AJ. Oh, AJ trying a massive right hand. Oh, AJ hurt AJ down. Right hand from Dubois. AJ's down. End of the first round. Oh, AJ saved by the bell. Could have been over there and then. Could have been over there and then. Can we see a replay? God damn it, I'm seeing all these graphics on screen here, not a replay. That was a great shot. AJ was swinging a wild right hand there. Big right hand from Dubois. AJ backing up in a straight line. Yeah, AJ's very, very nervous. Bang on the chin, down he goes. You know, there was some guy, you guys remember, in the comments of one of my videos or a live stream who was trying to say that AJ's got one of the best chins in the heavyweight division. I said in the pre-fight, if AJ gets hit with the same shots that Hrgovic got hit with, he's getting wiped out. He can't take them kind of shots to Hrgovic. Hrgovic got one of the best chins in the heavyweight division for years. Anyway, here we go, round 2. Let's see if Dubois can get him out of there. AJ looks in all sorts of bother, like Dubois is just going to walk through him. None of AJ's counters so far have had any effect on Daniel Dubois. Dubois going for it. Oh, Dubois all over AJ. AJ just trying to push him off. AJ's hurt again. No, AJ going down. AJ's going down. There's no way. AJ's getting walked through. He's finished. He's finished. Johnny Nelson's dream. Johnny Nelson's dream is going to come true. It's all Dubois. It's like total dominance from Daniel Dubois so far. Complete. It hasn't even been a competitive fight, really. AJ all over the place. Down at the end of the first round. Wobbled so far in the second round. Nervous. Scared to death. Chin is not there. Definitely looks like damaged goods. Yeah, AJ better move. Big jab from AJ. Knocks his head back. Yeah, there is no way AJ is going to win this fight from this position. Absolutely no. He doesn't have the durability to be able to get through a situation like this against a guy like Dubois, who's young, who's powerful. Big shot again hurts AJ. AJ wobbled with a left hook. Dubois completely in control, dominating. AJ hasn't even landed anything that's put even a slight dent in Daniel Dubois. Big jabs from Dubois again, and he's going for the left hook on the inside. AJ, a desperate swing there with the left. His boxing is all over the place. His feints are not working. Big jab there from Dubois. Dubois got that bounce in his legs. You see that? And he can punch off the bounce. Big right hand there from Dubois. AJ trying to hold and push Dubois off. Oh, nah, that right hand hit. I think Dubois' back. I mean, I'm surprised Dubois let him off the hook here. Maybe he just doesn't want to. Good jab there from AJ, actually. Jab back from Dubois. I'm kind of surprised AJ made it out of that round. I feel like Dubois could have pushed it a bit more there. Because AJ looked in all sorts of trouble. Well, there's the drama. There was definitely the feeling, the closer we got to this fight, of drama. That was kind of around the back of the head there in the replay. But that was a good left hook on the temple from Dubois. Rocking AJ there. Good jab, knocked AJ's head back. Yeah, AJ's just terrified in there. He's terrified. He's absolutely terrified in there. Joshua coming out, looking like he wants to be more assertive. A big right hand from Dubois. Joshua hurt again. He's going to go down, surely. Yeah, surely it's a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before Dubois lands another big one and knocks him out. Good jab from Dubois again on the front foot. Yeah, that jab is definitely a big right hand from Dubois. AJ pulling back in straight lines again, getting caught with his chin in the air. Dubois' jab is a factor. And his foot speed. You know, that's something I spoke about pre-fight. When I looked at Dubois at the open workout, his feet just look fast to me. Ooh, AJ tries a haymaker. Yeah, that's not going to help. AJ clinching a lot here. Big jab from, oh. AJ nearly getting cleaned out again there. AJ trying to get his jab working, but yeah, he's still terrified of being hit here. AJ tried to go with the uppercut. The timing was totally off. Dubois maneuvering him to the ropes where he can set his feet and let a big right hand go. You know, what Dubois doesn't want to do here is let his attacks get too predictable. He wants to vary up his attacks because AJ's starting to be able to clinch him. You guys see what I'm seeing? So he's able to smother Dubois up close when Dubois is launching an attack. So Dubois needs to like feint before he attacks or do something to just switch. Oh, big left hook. Oh, AJ's gone. AJ's gone. His ankle's gone. His ankle's gone. Referee's going to step in and stop it. Johnny Nelson's dream. AJ in trouble on the ropes. Down again. AJ on his hands and knees. Will he beat the count? He should have stopped the fight. He should have stopped the fight. AJ's done. He does not have the punch resistance. Doesn't have it. Yeah, you see, oh, AJ's ankle there. You see his ankle? See, AJ's like so out of sorts mentally that he's overcommitting to punches. And that's why he got caught with those counters there from Dubois. Because he's like completely overcommitting with the right hand from that range. And that leaves him open to the counter. He's so desperate to land a big shot. Look at Eddie Hearn. Eddie, yeah, surely Dubois ends it in this round. Yeah, AJ in trouble already. Down again. Dubois must end it in this round. AJ trying to show defiance, but he knows it's over. Fight's over. Fight's over. Fight's over. It's all over. Oh, no, he's saying it's not a knockdown. Nah, they should have called it off. It's going to be over in a second anyway. There's 2 minutes left, over 2 minutes left in the round. Dubois all over him. Yeah, AJ trying to hold, but he's just... AJ's never been able to... AJ calling him on. He's never been able to recover from being hurt. Now, Dubois not tired. Dubois just getting going. Dubois gonna... AJ gonna get... Is he not gonna get warned for the holding? Warning Dubois, that's helping AJ out. Big left hook. AJ's going to go down again. His corner might as well pull him out. Ben Davison might as well pull him out. Because AJ hasn't got a hope in hell. He's never been able to recover from being hurt. Well, big left hook again from Dubois. All over AJ, totally one-sided. Either the referee should stop it or Ben Davison throw in the towel. Like, seriously. AJ tried a big uppercut there, but he doesn't have enough in his legs to get any power on it. AJ tried an uppercut from the floor in that instance. Left hook from Dubois. AJ holding again. I know he's hurt, but at some point, you know, you can't do that much holding. The referee's going to have to get onto him. AJ trying to show defiance there, sticking his tongue out. A wild swinging right hand that is way off the mark. His boxing is all over the place. Total domination from Daniel Dubois. Just a matter of time. AJ, look at him. He's trying to style it out. There's no styling out that type of beatdown. Man's trying to style it out like it was a little blip in the fight. All right, let's see here. Big jab from Dubois. AJ went for a left hook. Dubois landed a solid jab. Oof. Okay, that actually was a slip. Okay, that actually was a slip. Big, long left hook there from Daniel Dubois. Yeah, AJ can't get out of the way of the shots. No wonder he was asking for prayers. Yeah, Klitschko didn't put him down this many times. Klitschko wasn't landing this early. Listen to the commentators saying, no, there's no way back. It's a wrap. AJ looks like he's determined to go out on his shield. But I'd like to see Ben Davison throw the towel in. He hasn't even come close to winning a round. Big jab there. Oh my God, I spoke too soon. Oh, Dubois hurt. Oh, Dubois. Oh my gosh. Oh, AJ's down. AJ's out. AJ's out. AJ's finished. He hurt Dubois and got caught going in. He's finished. He's out. Now he's face plant. He's over. It's done. Wow. 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 Well, drama, yes. Talk about drama. I mean, I thought it was a foregone conclusion, but yeah, that bit did catch me by surprise there. Where Dubois got rocked and Dubois backed up. And that's what Dubois always does when he gets rocked. He'll always back straight up. And AJ, being so desperate, learned nothing from the Ruiz fight, where he, you know, went in for the finish and got clipped. Learned nothing from it. He was too desperate. You know, he was fighting for survival. He wasn't thinking strategically. And for Daniel Dubois, that's his coming out party. Fantastic performance. Handled his nerves. Looked like a man possessed from the very beginning. And he just destroyed AJ. It wasn't even competitive. Wasn't even competitive. Destroyed him. Stuck his jab on him. And he actually looked like the faster man. Okay, there was a right hand from AJ, which did buzz Dubois. What shot was a big right hand that face planted AJ. Yeah. AJ chin in the air, desperate, thinking he's going to get the knockout. The first right hand steadied him. The second right hand, bang. AJ wasn't even thinking at that point about what he was doing and gets caught with a really basic punch. You know, but when you're not there mentally, when you're not thinking, that's what can happen. Beautiful shot from Daniel Dubois. And that is surely the end of Anthony Joshua. It is surely the end. You know, I talked pre-fight about if AJ were to lose conclusively, or if he were to lose, right? It would depend on the manner of the loss in terms of whether he decides to continue. But that loss right there, it's a wrap. Yeah. Well, I think it's safe to say that AJ and Vidal Sassoon, Ben Davison didn't pass their first test. Whereas Daniel Dubois, flying colors. Not that he really needed Don Charles. He had it all in hand and under control. There's Len Blavatsnik there. Sat next to Tyson Fury, the owner of DAZN. Conor McGregor. Great performance from Daniel Dubois. Passing of the torch fight. He's now solidified himself as a force at world level. A world heavyweight champion. Yes, he was given the belt, email champion, whatever the case may be, but now he's got a name. He's got a scalp, a proven scalp on his record. And it's a tremendous redemption story for Daniel Dubois. You know, normally when you see a fighter quit twice, the way that Daniel Dubois did, there's no coming back from that, you know? So for Dubois to come back the way he did, on a stage like this, to build upon the Miller and the Hrgovic victories, on a stage like this, all the crowd, all the pressure, everyone screaming for AJ, the whole industry wanted AJ to win. None of that fazed Daniel Dubois at all. None of that fazed him. Let's have a listen to what Daniel Dubois says in the post-fight. Somebody's saying AJ's conditioning was very poor. No, AJ's conditioning is not poor. He just doesn't have a very good chin. And he can't control his nerves. That's what nerves and a not very good chin will do to you. Dubois pulling out the gladiator lines. Did he watch my video? about the accusations that his dad does juju? Are you not entertained? Just listen to what Dubois is saying here. Probably not going to say much. Give us a bit more than that, bro. You just want a massive fight. Tell us what your strategy was. Let's speak to Don Charles. Ade, get Don Charles. Because, Dan, in typical Dan fashion, isn't really saying much. That definitely was not a Hagler Hearn situation. Give it a rest. That was a one-sided drubbing. It definitely weren't no Hagler Hearns. Hagler Hearns was competitive for 3 rounds. That was just a demolition job. That's what that was. Demolition job. AJ had one, tiny moment of success where he buzzed Dubois, and he just buzzed him. He didn't even hurt him bad. He buzzed him. Dubois always backs off when he's buzzed. And AJ went in swinging with no care, desperate, and got face planted. Yeah, that was nothing like Hagler Hearns. So like I said in one of my videos before the fight, what I now want to see, and I'm probably in a tiny minority, right? I'm probably in a tiny minority. What I now want to see is Moses Itauma fight Daniel Dubois. Now, I know people are going to say, that's crazy, that's stupid. Dubois would destroy Itauma. I want to see somebody try to break Mike Tyson's record. And there's an opportunity there. Itauma has, shared the ring with Dubois. They've done many, many rounds of sparring fairly recently too. So I would like to see Itauma get an opportunity. He's going to have to beat somebody to get in the IBF top 10. And I'd like to see Itauma have an opportunity to break Mike Tyson's record. Surprised AJ hasn't run away. He's willing to be interviewed. Okay. Now, to be fair, AJ doesn't normally run away after he's taken a shellacking, but this was the mother of all shellackings. He said, what went wrong there? The opponent. That's a good answer. Shout out to Black Dynamite for the super chat. He says, AJ versus Wilder next. Both of them coming off a KO loss. Nah. AJ and Wilder both need to retire now. Ben says this fight proves Hrgovic had an iron jaw. Yeah? Well, the Zhang fight showed that Hrgovic had an iron jaw. Hrgovic got a... Did I say in my prediction video that if I didn't say it, I was wanting to say it? That if AJ gets chinned here, it will prove, you know, people still haven't come to terms with how good Hrgovic's chin is. So the public still haven't cottoned onto it. And I've been saying it for a while, but Hrgovic got an iron jaw, folks. It's just a tremendous chin. You know, Hrgovic was never like badly hurt against Dubois. He was buzzed a few times, but he was never like staggering around the ring. And he took the very same shots that AJ took. It never really it was never really close to going down, Filip Hrgovic. Got a tremendous chin. And the fortunes of Matchroom continue to go down. Oh, yes, they do. I'm not wishing the fortunes of Matchroom to go down. Oh, come on. Rematch clause? Rematch clause? Why is there a rematch clause when it's a voluntary defense? Hell no. Rematch clause? Hell no. It was a one-sided beatdown. There is no need for a rematch. Good God. How does a voluntary challenger get a rematch clause? Nah, I definitely don't want to see a rematch. That was as conclusive as you could possibly get. I want to see Dubois versus Atalma. Call me crazy, but that's what I want to see. If Atalma can get a win against somebody that gets him an IBF top 10 ranking. That's the caveat. Obviously now, Atalma's not in the IBF top 10. So you can't justify putting somebody that's not in the top 10 in a world title fight. But if he can win a fight against somebody in the IBF top 10 to get himself ranked in there, then that's what I'd like to see. Dubois versus Atalma. Just looking at the replays again here. Shout out to someone for the super chat. He says, why was AJ so nervous? Well, we saw there why he was so nervous. Because he knew somewhere inside him that this could happen. That's why he was so nervous. You know, AJ at the weigh-in told the crowd to pray for him. Very strange, you know. He looked relaxed, right? His body language, but to say that the crowd should pray for him. You know, AJ might have been relaxed at the weigh-in and all that kind of thing, because maybe deep down he knew that this was the end. And so this would be the last time he'd have to face this type of pressure. You know, maybe that's what the relaxation was about. But yeah, he knew that this was very, very, it was a real possibility that this could happen to him. That's why he was nervous. There's a great shot from Dubois. There's the dad look. People asking, did the juju work? If he used juju, I'm not saying he did. Spencer Farron is saying that. So there you go. AJ should retire. Same as Wilder. You know, well, Wilder can fight Ngannou if he wants to fight on. He can go fight Ngannou. AJ's already fought Ngannou. Who's AJ going to fight now after that? Getting wiped out. Wasn't even competitive. You see, in AJ's previous losses, they were at least somewhat competitive. That wasn't a competitive fight. He just got completely demolished. So, yeah, forget about a rematch. It's absurd for Eddie Hearn to even be talking about a rematch. In fact, it's cynical to be talking about a rematch. As the promoter, if you actually care about a fighter, and I'm not saying that Eddie Hearn cares about AJ, but if he did care about AJ, you'd be doing everything in your power to talk him out of exercising a rematch clause. So AJ's done. He's washed. He's finished. That's the end of him. Needs to sail off into the sunset with his money, do his business. Him and Wilder can reminisce about old times when they didn't fight each other. What is this? Huh? Okay, they're doing the Saudi Arabia thing again. Okay. That's just weird. When everyone's left the stadium, they do the raffle at the end. It's weird, man. They did that in the LA show as well, after everybody had lost. Everybody had left, lost. Alex Burns. I thought he said Alex Hearns. Now, this Triber guy's weird. Hang on. What does that comment say? Usyk win looking better and better. Usyk's the man. Usyk is the man. Man's pushing 40. Came through and dusted off everybody. Dusted off AJ twice. Done AJ. Really, you know, when we look back now, in hindsight, we can see what it was. We didn't know until this fight, right? This was the first proper fight that AJ had since losing to Usyk. But we can now look back retrospectively and see, after the way AJ was destroyed in this fight, we can now see that actually the Usyk fights were the end of him. The Usyk fights were the end of him. Usyk came through, dusted off AJ twice, mashed up Dubois, took out the Gypsy King. Yeah, Usyk's the man. I don't know who's talking about rematch in the chat. Come on. Rematch. Never mind rematch. Anthony Joshua should never go near a boxing ring again for the rest of his life. He's done. Stick a fork in him. It's over. See, AJ just doesn't have the robustness to have a long career, unless he's got the defense to stay out of the way, which he obviously doesn't, and he couldn't control his nerves. He doesn't have, he's not physically robust enough to continue fighting on in competitive matches. Just doesn't have it. When he gets hit, he stays hit. He's always been like that. You look at the Klitschko fight. He gets dropped by Klitschko, and it took him how many rounds to recover? And he was a young man then. So no, AJ's done. Forget about him. Somebody says, Hatman, is DDD win a great win for boxing? It's a great win. As I said in one of my videos pre-fight, it's a great win for the next era. Yeah, it's a great win for the next era of boxing because, the likes of AJ, Fury, and, these names, even Wilder, are household names, right? They're brand names in the sport of boxing. They're brand names with the public. The likes of Dubois and the new generation coming through, they're not brand names. You understand? They're seen as almost like, up until now at least, they were seen as like inferior to the current brand names. Oh yeah, these guys coming through are okay, but they're not like the AJs and the Furies and the Wilders, But now that Dubois has done that, it can give more credibility to the new era of heavyweight fighters. Listen to Tony Bellew here. Hang on. Tony Bellew shell-shocked, as you'd expect. All right, what Bellew was saying here isn't really true. He said that AJ wasn't letting the shots go. AJ was letting the shots go, but the shots were sloppy. AJ was too nervous to actually throw the punches accurately. His timing was off and everything was just off about him. He was scared in there of what was coming at him. And the fear got the better of him and he wasn't able to set the shots up as neatly as he normally does because he was just too nervous. He was swinging with shots, AJ. You never see him swinging like that with punches, but in this fight, he was swinging all over the place. Very wild swings, leaving himself totally off balance after the swing. And that there is desperation and nerves. When you're calm, you hold your technique together. But when you're nervous and when you're totally out of sorts psychologically, you fall to bits technically. Just seeing some of the knockdown replays here. AJ actually got hurt there with a jab. And this is where AJ gets face planted from a top view. So Johnny Nelson's dream was true. AJ got counted out, but it was at the end of that round when the referee stepped in. Or maybe it was when AJ got up off the slip and we thought that the referee was waving it off. Johnny Nelson's dream. I'm telling you, folks, we can't ignore Johnny Nelson's dreams anymore. We can't ignore Johnny Nelson's dreams. Shout out to Ben for the super chat. He says, Usyk versus Triple D rematch. How do you see it going? Usyk is in his late 30s now. We have to see what happens in the Fury fight. Because at this age, you know, in tough fights, a guy like Usyk could become diminished. But if Usyk is anything like he was in the first Fury fight, I'm picking Usyk all day long. Dubois hasn't suddenly improved since the Hrgovic fight. No, it's just that AJ was exposed in this fight. That, you know, in the sense that he was obviously flattered by the Wallin and Ngannou fights. Those fights flattered him. One of them was against an MMA guy, and the other one was against a guy who he'd handled in sparring over the years. And obviously, when you're coming back from defeat, you take confidence builders like that, you can look good, but we don't know whether you're really back until you step in with a live opponent who, you know, is coming to take your head off. And most of us thought that, okay, these are kind of, you know, very, very well-picked opponents, Wallin and Ngannou. But that doesn't mean that you also can't be back to your best, right? Lennox Lewis had well-picked opponents when he came back from the Oliver McCall defeat. But when he stepped up against Ray Mercer, it was a tough fight, but he came through. So this was the acid test here to find out whether AJ was really back or not. And he's not back. Yeah? So it wasn't really about Dubois being way better than he was before at all. It was about AJ being exposed as not being back. If that makes sense. So with all that being said, I don't see a Dubois-Usyk fight any different now than it was before. It's just a matter of whether Usyk deteriorates enough to make, you know, a Dubois victory more possible. That's how I see it anyway. Shout out to Perpetual Intellectual for the super chat. He says, big man ting, AJ looked nervous at the ring walk. As soon as they made the introductions, I changed my mind and had Dubois to win by KO. Yeah. There was a feeling, as I was saying during the live stream, and as I said in my prediction video, that I just felt there was drama coming. Didn't you guys sense drama in the air for this fight? It just sensed, I knew there was some kind of, I didn't know what form the drama was going to take. But I had a strong feeling that there was going to be drama in this fight. And boy, did we get it. Boy, did we get it. Tim Lowe says AJ isn't going to take the rematch. Not if he knows what's good for him. Good God, man. Eddie Hearn even suggesting a rematch is crazy. A shout out to Craig for the super chat. He says, AJ, for all his worth, you think Eddie will push him into the rematch? Thanks for the entertainment, Hatman. Patreon community, big up. Shout out to Craig. That's my guy right there from Wales. Big up, Craig. There's Stan Dubois congratulating his boy. Whatever Stan Dubois did, it worked. And I'm not saying he did juju, by the way. That's Spencer Fearon's accusation. Michael says AJ's punch resistance totally gone. And he never had great punch resistance to start with. Warren Williams says, Stan and his 11 kids but no mom. Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. 11 kids but you never see no woman around. It is weird. Technics Trader says, shout out to Technics Trader for the super chat. Thank you very much, sir. He says, Fish Eyes has destroyed Matchroom in 2024. He really has. He has decimated Matchroom. You know, Eddie Hearn. See, I never believed Eddie Hearn when he said that this period of his career, you know, working with the Saudis and Frank Warren and all that, that this was... that this was the best period of his career. This is what Eddie Hearn been saying. I just got distracted by the chat for a second. Yeah, this is what Eddie Hearn's been saying. Oh, yeah, this is the best period of my career. Happy. What a load of rubbish. Any of you believe that when Eddie Hearn saying it's the best? How could it be the best period of your career? AJ's no longer world champion. You know, he used to have a massive heavyweight stable. Now all the heavyweights are with Frank Warren and other promoters. He's not signing anyone. The Talma's with Warren. How could it possibly be the favorite time in your career? What a load of rubbish. Yeah, Matchroom have been absolutely decimated by Bricktop. Never mind the $1 billion valuation and all that. You know, in something like a boxing business, they're valuing the fighters. They're valuing, you know, the money you're getting from the networks. They're valuing all kinds of stuff that isn't necessarily your money. Do you know what I mean? So don't put too much stock in the $1 billion valuation of a boxing promotions business. You know, if it was like a $1 billion valuation of, I don't know, a delivery business like Amazon, which is worth a lot more than that. But I'm just giving an example. That's different. They've actually got stock and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But with Matchroom, you don't know which formula they're using to actually put a value on it. And anyway, even if Eddie Hearn's business, which I'm sure it is worth a lot more than Frank Warren's business, I'm talking about the trajectory of their boxing part of their businesses, right? Well, Frank Warren only does boxing. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, they do boxing, they do darts, snooker, and fishing and all sorts of other stuff. But just the boxing businesses, what's the trajectory? The trajectory for Matchroom has been going down. It hasn't been going up. I know there's a lot of delusional Matchroom fanboys out there. No, the trajectory has been going down now for at least a couple years. And now, I mean, is it in free fall? And just because I'm laughing after I say that, don't take that for me, you know, wanting to see the end of Matchroom. No, at the end of the day, I enjoyed drama. I enjoyed, you know, the back and forth between the promoters. The fortunes are up for one, then the fortunes are down. I enjoy the soap opera of it. It's an enjoyable little soap opera. At the end of the day, these guys are all multimillionaires. So, you know, don't feel too... and I've got nothing against multimillionaires. I'm trying to be a multimillionaire, right? I'd love to be one. So it's not me having a go at them just because they're rich, but I'm saying me enjoying the drama, the soap opera of the fortunes of Matchroom going up and down versus, you know, Frank Warren. These guys are going to be absolutely fine. They're not going to go cry themselves to sleep at night. Yeah, they've got wonderful lives, you know, wonderful families and generational wealth and all that kind of stuff. So don't take it too much to heart. Somebody like me having a little chuckle, right? Because one promoter's, you know, having a bit of a dip in his career shouldn't really offend you. All right, peeps, gonna call it here. I'm gonna do my post-fight review now. So a shout out to everybody for tuning in for the live stream. I appreciate all you guys. Big shout out and special shout out to everybody who donated via Super Chat. You are much appreciated. I enjoyed watching the show with you guys. I'll catch you in the post-fight. All right, I'm out.